Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'll be showing you how to make this super cute bunny stocking stuffer. As a bit of a disclaimer, I am sick right now, so my voice is a little off, but I'm going to show you all these steps super in depth, and let's get right on into the video. Here is the list of materials that you're going to need today. I also want to let you guys know if you go up or down a little bit with your hook size, this will come out pretty much the exact same. Stitch markers are totally optional, but if you like using them, please go ahead and do so. And other than that, if you head to my Instagram, I have posted the entire free written pattern as well. So if you need that to follow along, please go ahead and take a look. So to help save my voice a bit this week, we're going to be using this newer pattern instead. So I'm going to list all the steps for each piece here. And then what you guys are going to do is watch me do them very simply. And I'll show you how to do each individual stitch. And then so I'm not talking anywhere near as much, we're going to skip through the rest. If you guys need anything clarified, please leave me a comment or send me a message on Instagram, and I'll be able to message you back with some further details if you end up needing them. For the first step, we're going to start by either making a chain ring or a magic ring. So to do the chain ring specifically, you're going to start with a slip knot, because I know a lot of people don't like the magic ring. After you make your slip knot, you're going to chain 4 times. Again, this is regardless of what size yarn or what size hook you're using. 4 times, and then you will slip stitch back into the first chain that you just made. And what this is going to do is create a little loop, which is basically going to function as your ring. So if you look here, the inside of that is the hole where you'll be inserting all of your stitches, and you won't have to worry about pulling on a yarn tail. Chain 1. For the magic ring, you're going to hold a small tail with your thumb, looping over into this X motion, and then using your hook to grab the piece of yarn underneath. Twist it like so as you come up and make 1 chain. From here, you're just going to want to adjust your yarn, and regardless of which ring that you made, we are going to make 4 half double crochets into it. So start by looping over for a half double crochet and inserting into the ring. Yarn over again so that there's 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over one more time and pull through all 3. Showing you one more time before we start speeding through the video, you'll loop around like this until you have 4 total. Once you have made 4, if you have a magic ring, pull. If you don't, you won't need to do that. Go into your first half double crochet that you made, which you'll be able to count by the braids on top. Insert your hook and make a slip stitch that goes through both the one you just went through and your last chain. So it'll look like this. From here, you'll chain 1 time and we'll move on to the next row. Make a half double crochet increase, which you'll be doing in every stitch. You are simply going to be doing 2 half double crochets into each of those stitches. So what you'll do is your regular half double crochet, pulling very gently, and then making sure you go into the exact same stitch. Do that one more time. You'll be doing that into all 4 stitches for a total of 8. To close off your row, you will do a slip stitch and a chain 1, which will also be done at the end of every row that we make in the next set of moves. So next you're going to be doing 6 rows total of 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Basically, you'll do 8 half double crochets, slip stitch and chain 1, and then do that again for 6 rows total. To finish off, when you do your last row, the 6th one, you will do another slip stitch and a chain 1, and then differently here, you're going to leave a nice long chain and cut your yarn. That you're then going to pull up and through the chain that you just made, just like so. And from this point on, you're going to want to pull to make sure everything is nice and tight, and flip it inside out. You'll make 3 of these limbs total for 2 arms, 2 legs, and then stuff 2 of them half full and 2 of them fully. We're now going to be moving a bit quicker through the body steps. Pause and take a read through all of these. And again, if I'm going too fast in the video, I do apologize. It is to save my voice, but please just send me something on Instagram or leave a comment if you need a further description. Alright, so we're going to start with a ring of choice. Either repeat your chain ring or your magic ring. And then for the first row here, we're going to be adding 8 total half double crochets as opposed to 4 like we did last time. Once you finish that, you'll pull on your yarn if it's a magic ring and then slip stitch and chain 1. For your next row, same as we were doing before, pattern-wise, you'll be doing 1 half double crochet increase in every stitch until you have 16 total stitches. As per usual, and what you'll be doing after every row, so I won't mention it again, is doing a slip stitch and chain 1. From here, our next row is going to be 1 half double crochet, and then in the next stitch, doing a 1 half double crochet increase. So it'll be like 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, until you get to the end of this row. You're then going to be doing 9 rows of just 1 half double crochet in each of them to build the height of the body. Once you've completed the height, we're going to be doing something called a decrease row. You'll start by doing 1 normal half double crochet and then doing a decrease like I showed you here. To show you one more time, it'll look like this: 1 normal half double crochet, which will go into the stitch right after the decreases you make, and then doing a decrease by inserting your hook through the front of one and then through the back of the stitch afterwards. To finish off your piece, you will once again leave a very long tail and flip it inside out. This piece you're going to fully stuff, and then we'll move on. Next up, we will be doing the head of the rabbit. Again, here are all the steps listed, and we are going to move through them pretty quick since we kind of have the gist of this part now. Choose your starting ring and start with that same way that you've been doing it this whole time. You'll once again be adding 8 half double crochets to the ring. We want it to be even with the body. And then just so you guys know, at the end of every row, we'll be doing the slip stitch and chain 1. This is the only time I'll be mentioning it. To build up the head, you will be doing 1 increase in every stitch for this row. For the next row, you will just be doing 1 half double crochet in each stitch to kind of make it a bit taller. You will then be doing another row of 1 regular half double crochet, followed by the increase, and you'll be doing that all the way around. And then once again, to build height, you'll be doing another row of just 1 single half double crochet in every stitch. Then to kind of form the actual shape of the head, we are going to do another row of those decreases, which I'll show you again until we fast forward through it. We're going to do your regular half double crochet, followed by your decrease afterwards. And to finish off, to make the neck, you are just going to be doing 2 rows of 1 half double crochet in each stitch. Now, because you left such a long tail on the body, you don't need to have one for the head. Just cut it, flip it inside out, and fill the whole head with stuffing. For our next step, I'm going to show you the basic premise of sewing the pieces together, so that way you could do the rest of it without having tons of video footage. So to start with the head and the body, because the openings are both 16 stitches total, what you're going to do is take your darning needle and thread that super long tail from the body into that first and foremost. Once you have threaded your needle, you will be able to line up the 2 pieces and basically just begin to do what's very similar to a running stitch if you know how to sew. So start by inserting your hook through any stitch on the body piece, and then again through any piece on the head, going in through one and in through the other. You're then just going to continue to go in and out of each of these stitches one at a time, making sure that they line up. As you can see, I pull up like this, and then I find the next stitch, which is this consecutive one here, and the same thing, the adjacent one on the top. I'm going to continue doing that stitch over and over again until I've made it all the way around the head of the piece. Once you've made it all the way around, you're going to cut a pretty small tail, and I'm going to show you how to knot it on. So I'm just using my hook here to grab any random piece like this, where I will pull through and then basically make a chain 1 to form a knot. To tuck it into the piece, I'm going to insert my hook through the body like this, and into the stitch closest to where the tail starts. I simply then just pull it through the body and make sure it gets stuck all the way in there so you don't see it anymore. Moving on to show you guys the arms, it's the exact same principle here. Even though this is a flat piece to the rest of the body, unlike the legs, you're just going to take it and sew it on piece by piece, nice and slowly. I also recommend that when you're sewing on anything, you try to get it as close to the piece as possible so you see a lot less of the stitches that you're using to sew. It'll kind of look like it's hidden behind the actual seam itself. Going back to the crocheting itself, we're going to begin making the scarf accessory. This time you don't need any sort of ring, you're going to start with a simple slip knot. From there, this is up to how big you want your scarf to be. I will be chaining 100, but if you want it shorter than mine, do a little bit less. If you want it longer than mine, do a little bit more. Basically, you're just going to chain the length that you want your scarf. Now, regardless of the length that you did, you're going to add 2 turning chains, basically just adding 2 extra, skipping those 2, and then beginning to make 1 double crochet into every stitch down the row. Double crochet starts the same as a half double, but now this time you'll be going through 2 stitches and then 2 more instead of doing all 3 at once. Now you're just going to continue that until you have the same amount equal to the first chain that you made. And that is it. Your scarf is super simple. You will chain 1 to finish, cut your yarn, and pull through the same way we've been doing this. Now you could just trim your yarn, or you can weave it through the way I'm showing you here, where you basically just take the end and pull it back and forth until it's hidden into the piece itself. For our next accessory, we will be making the super cute hat. As you can see, you could add some options at the bottom that I didn't include in the video. You're going to start again with whatever ring you prefer, chain or magic, and then you're going to be adding 10 half double crochets. We're doing 10 here because we want it to be slightly bigger than the size of the head. And of course you'll do your slip stitch and chain 1, only time I'm mentioning it is now. From there, you'll be doing a half double crochet increase into every stitch for 20 total. Once that is done, you are going to build up some height by just doing 1 half double crochet in every single stitch. You will then do your increase pattern of 1 regular half double crochet followed by 1 half double crochet increase. And then to add the height, you are just going to be doing 2 straight rows of regular half double crochets. You'll then finish off however you please, making sure if you want to add a pom-pom or some braids that you do so, and if you want a little tutorial on that, please let me know and I'd be happy to make a short for you. Here is a quick shape check. Your rabbit should look like this. Next we'll be making the ears. Of course, if you don't want to make a rabbit and maybe you want to make a bear, you could just switch this part up. You will be making your final magic rings or chain rings in this piece here, starting with whatever one you prefer. To that ring, you'll be adding 4 half double crochets, and just to get it out of the way, you will do your slip stitch in chain 1, and again, this is the only time that I will be mentioning it. Do this again after every single piece. You will then begin to increase in every single stitch until you have 8 stitches total. Following our typical pattern, you'll then be doing 1 half double crochet, followed by your half double crochet increase until you have 12 total stitches. Then to build up the wide part of the ear, you'll just be doing 1 half double crochet in each stitch. To create that classic bunny ear shape, we're then going to do a row of 1 half double crochet normally, followed by a decrease until you are back down to 8 total stitches. And finally for height, you're just going to be adding 4 total rows of 1 half double crochet in each row. You're going to finish this off normally with your chain 1 and cutting your yarn, and then do not fill these ears, just make 1 more, and then sew your tops down so that way you have a nice flat ear to attach onto the head. Now then, we are back to the sewing steps. To attach your ears, you want to put the hat on as a guideline to see where you want them to sit. You're then going to sew these on the exact same way you sewed on your arms, slowly and very carefully going into the head and then into the ear. And you'll do that all the way down. To show you this part one more time, we want to knot our ear in like so, using that little pull through and chain 1, and then you're simply just going to pull the entire thing into the piece too. You could trim it first if that helps, and then just use your hook to pull it into the actual body or head of the piece. We're then going to sew on the face, and if this is something you've never done before, it might seem a bit difficult, but trust me, it's really, really easy. Basically what you're going to be doing is going in and out and around the stitches until you've put the features where you want them to be. So I'm going to go slowly through this first part, and then we're going to speed up the rest so that way you can kind of figure out the expression you want. So to make an eye, I basically go in and then around one of the half double crochets to make that small flat black line. So it looks like he's got just a cute little pupil like this. Make sure that you are holding tight on one piece of the yarn tail so you don't pull it straight through. And then you're going to continue that down and around until you have 2 eyes. 2 lined up for the nose. I basically just start to maneuver through like this, so that way I can put all the features where I want them to sit. If this is something you want a more in-depth tutorial on, I am more than welcome to make a YouTube short on this later when I can talk without losing my voice. But simply, you're just going to keep going around until your nose is where you want it. I then decided to go up and through everything one more time to further define the pieces, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I also added some whiskers to mine and a little smile, which you can also add. But remember, all of these parts are totally optional. Your face does not have to look just like mine does. I just wanted to have like a very classic Christmas toy sort of look. If you want to give it like big anime eyes or something like really cute, you could do that. You could also sew on some like googly eyes if you like that look too. You could literally give him whatever you want. Like I said, I was just trying to go for that very classic Christmas style. And with that, thank you all again for watching today's video and putting up with my lost voice. If there's anything you need further instruction on, please let me know, and hit up any of my socials to see any of the new drops that I just put on Depop, as well as some cute TikToks and my written post on Instagram. I will see you next Sunday at 1 p.m., hopefully much better. Bye-bye!